This time with zero mistakes. This time without zero issues. This time, I can officially say in front of you on Instagram Live, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you guys are listening to this and whenever you guys are watching this. We are here. Week 5 is in front of us. Week 4 is in the rearview mirror. Say goodbye to that. It's another time. It's another day for another episode of the Next Up Fantasy Show. And as you can see, I got a lot of room here. Anyway, it's your boy Will, back again with my two amigos here for another episode. And we're gonna have some little fun today. And to start off the fun, let's go ahead and do an introduction. My man over here, Mike Thesis. Mike T, how are you doing today?
Hey, man. I'm here. It's good. It's another show with my guys. We're going to talk about the mishaps and the miracles of last week. And I guess it's come to a point where I'm going to have to admit that I lost to a certain someone. So I'm ready for his ridicule because at this point, I mean, it's nothing. I feel like he needed the victory more than me. But we'll get into all that and much more on the Next Up Fantasy Show. Let's go.
So I'm kind of curious as far as who Mike is talking about. So for more on that, let's go ahead and go introduce this man over here, Mr. Manny B. and Manny. Manny, what's up? How you doing and how's it going? And don't forget to take yourself off of mute.
What's up, everyone? We are 1-0 this season against Mr. Mike Thesis, my co-host. I'm excited. I trash talked his team the whole year, so if I would have lost, that would have been some bad news. But his wide receivers did put up some numbers on me, but still, I came out 1-0 against Mike, and we'll get into it.
So we will definitely get into that, but there's some stuff that we're going to generally talk about. Like, is there anything, like, let's go ahead and start it off this way. Is there anything right off the bat? Is there anything that's on your mind as far as what ended up happening over this past weekend?
Tyreek Hill's cooked.
Ooh, Tyreek Hill. Like,
yeah.
And it's kind of a shame because we talked about Huntley before. I think the first season we talked about Huntley where when he was a backup over at Baltimore. Kid was solid. And I asked you guys about him before the game tonight. Is like I asked, what are your thoughts about Tyler Huntley? That he was a decent backup over at Baltimore. He did have some fantasy worthy games at the time, and then from there, like I'm not going to say that he crapped the bed exactly last night, but it just wasn't generally a good look for him yesterday. So it's kind of hard to imagine to starting off players like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill in this case. Hey, when it comes to, I mean, she's there. She's part of the show now. Fourth co-host. Let's go.
I mean, she's here and she's like, you're talking. So
yes, we are. But yeah. So to generally think that both of those players are kind of in jeopardy for at least the minimum 4 games until we figure out what Tua's going to actually be doing. It kind of seems like, in a sense, like let's say especially for Hill, he would be not going to say exactly a waste of a first round pick, but kind of the same way with a Waddle 3rd or 4th round, depending on when you got him. It kind of seems like that it's unfortunate that there's really not much that we can do about that. Hill, for sure, you're likely going to end up playing because of his upside. Waddle is a little bit more on the easier side as far as benching him, but it kind of seems like that for both. Like it's the case of you might have to likely end up benching both of them in this case.
Do you know when Hill comes back or Tua?
Do they have a bye week during this time?
I'm not positive. Are they waiting until a bye week?
So I'm thinking at least week 8.
You think he'll be gone that long? Do you think?
Yes.
All right. So their bye week is week 6. So week 7. So they have one more game.
Mhm.
And then their bye week. So I agree. He might be back by after the bye week.
I'm still concerned about his health in general, but like I think there was I forgot who it was that ended up responding. Oh, Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi ended up a couple of weeks ago talking about the response, and it was mainly, and especially with him, with everything that he's gone through. He had a stroke before while playing mid-season, and then from there he still ended up coming back and playing. So he kind of has this, probably has the same mentality, or he had the same mentality that Tua probably has, and that mentality is, regardless of how you feel about his health or whatnot, his focus, or Tua's focus, is not going out like that, not not making that his official last stand or whatnot. So pretty much he has the mentality of pretty much saying, I am going to go back out there and I'm going to finish what I started. Not really the biggest fan of that, but at least you got to respect it. So Mike, anything on your mind?
I think for me, the biggest takeaway, and some people believe this coming into the season, but I think it is now confirmed, and I hate to admit it, but I think Jaden Daniels is the truth. I think it's real. So, if you invest in Jaden Daniels, I think that you're probably seeing the probably seeing some production for what you put into getting him. I know me personally, I'm not really the kind of owner that invests in rookie quarterbacks. That's just kind of not my thing.
Mhm.
But he's definitely doing his thing. I know me personally, I was someone who thought that Caleb Williams might be a little bit more effective at this point in the season, be more
Mhm.
impactful. But it looks like I'm wrong. It looks like Jane Daniels should have been the number 1 overall pick, probably. He's really balling out, and he has Washington doing really, really good. So if you're in a league, wow, he's no longer available. So at this point, so no matter what league you're in, don't worry about that. But if you're somebody who invested in getting him, I would say that you made a wise investment, and the scary thing is he's kind of just getting started. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops and what he looks like, or what his stats look like at the end of the season.
Now, one of the things that I remember talking about the Commanders last year was the Kansas City offensive coordinator going over to Washington, and having the availability of having a scary offense. And it didn't, like my boy Taylor Heineke didn't do so well with the system. And then now all of a sudden we have Jaden Daniels and year 2 with this offensive coordinator, and just like you said, he's starting to look a little bit more like the truth as far as what I expected from him last year. As far as Washington, it's insane. It's probably more insane to think about that. Damn near everything about the team is the same. The only difference is, realistically, probably besides Jaden, is probably just Austin Eckler. All the other, the wideouts are just about the same. Jahan Dotson got traded, but outside of that, everyone is just about the same. So there's not really anything too significant that created the change. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with what we see in Jaden Daniels as far as the way that he's playing right now. And speaking of, we might as well just jump right into it, because the topic that I wanted to discuss is the expectations of certain players, either meeting them, exceeding them, or not meeting them at all. So pretty much about to go scroll down as far as the new subject. Are they for real? So I'm going to bring up a couple of players, and I want to get your guys's, as well as a team, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. And since we were talking about Jaden Daniels, let's go ahead and talk about the person that I matched them up with. So the rise of Jaden and Caleb's fall. So just like we just talked about right now, Jaden Daniels is on the rise right now. He's not going to exactly say that he's what he's doing is record breaking, but people have talked about that in the same sentence. And he has Washington Commanders at a 3-1 start. Caleb Williams, on the other hand, and mind you, this is fantasy football related only. It doesn't seem like that we're exactly getting the player that we expected to come out being the first overall pick. Much better than Bryce Young from last year as far as the start, and at least they're getting some wins. But it kind of seems like in this case, Caleb Williams, fantasy relevant wise, is not exactly the player that we expected him to be so far. So with that being said, for both of these players, is this what we expect moving forward with both of these players? Let's go ahead and start off with Stunner Shades over there.
So moving forward with Caleb Williams, so this is just opinion based by me though, but I was never big on Caleb Williams. I think Mike and I both said that if you can't lead USC to, a bowl game, how do you expect to lead the Bears to the playoffs? And you're seeing it now. He needs time. If he has an offensive line, he could pick apart a defense, but they're not giving him any time. I said it last year. They should have just kept Justin Fields, traded the picks, maybe get some O-line, some linemen to help out Justin Fields, because you see what Justin Fields is doing with the Steelers. So, I don't know. I'm not big on Caleb Williams. I just think he was overhyped. He is a great quarterback, but he's not generational. I think Jayden Daniels, like Mike said, could potentially be the breakout quarterback. But we do have to pump our brakes on Jayden Daniels as well, because there's not that much film on him. NFL, you usually will start off hot. It's when these defenses start picking you apart and figuring out what you do and your tendencies and how do you change. And a lot of people can't. So I want to see how Jayden Daniels is after like week 8, because now the defense has 8 weeks of film. I mean, look for example, Will Levis last year. 4 games, he looked phenomenal. Now look at him. They figured him out. So let's just pump the brakes on Jayden Daniels as well.
And I kind of feel that I'm gonna agree with the Will Levis comparison. It is kind of hard to put a read on how a player could be. But then again, do you feel that they could have also? I mean, it's not going to be a good comparison. But do you feel that the film from college could be something that NFL pros or NFL teams could actually use, or is it because of the fact that the systems are entirely different that it will be harder to put a read on how a player could play?
I think it's hard to tell. College schemes are way different than NFL schemes. There is the same, but the difference in them is just crazy. You wouldn't think it is, but like the reads, I mean, the players alone are a lot faster. So Jayden Daniels thinking he could get away, and Caleb Williams running, these D linemen will catch him.
Mike, Jayden Rise, Caleb Fall. Is this something we should expect to see moving forward?
That's a tricky question as far as I'm concerned, because unlike Manny, I still like Caleb Williams. I do. And I feel like at some point he could probably figure it out. But the only thing that kind of curbs my enthusiasm is the coaching staff and the offensive coaching staff that's around him. I'm not sure they're going to figure it out, because, I mean, Chicago Bears, they've never really been. I mean, Matt Eberflus is the head coach. He's a defensive guy. He used to be in Dallas. He's not really an offensive-minded kind of coach. So I don't really think that their offense is like cutting edge, So with that being said, I think for this year, the Jayden Rise and the Caleb Fall will probably continue. I shouldn't say the Caleb Fall. I think Caleb will he'll kind of bottom out at a decent level for NFL rookie. I think he'll be okay. He won't be like Bryce Young status. I think he'll be decent enough to where he'll be a okay quarterback who only probably should be started if you're on a bye week, kind of a deal. I wouldn't roster him, but he's somebody you can probably pick up on a bye week if he's available in your leagues, and try to start him for that week. That's how I view him. But I think Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, is in a good system. I trust the offensive coaching staff that is around him more. I can't remember the offensive coordinator's name at the present moment, but I do know he used to be the head coach in Arizona. He was also the head coach at Texas Tech. He has a good offensive mind, and I like him as an OC, not as a head coach. I just can't remember his name right now. But yeah, I trust Jaden's coaching and the people that are helping him more than I trust the people that are helping Caleb. So I think Jaden's rise is more. I think Jaden's rise is more equipped to happen than for Caleb to rise. But I'm not sure Caleb will fall. So my answer is a little different than the prompt.
Do you feel that if there was a more notorious offensive coordinator in mind, could Caleb or would the situation for the Bears hit a little bit different? Like, let's say I'm gonna pick on your guys' boy, and a person that I thought would be solid, but not doing so well right now. Kellen Moore. If Kellen Moore was there as an offensive coordinator, regardless of how the situation is, you know what, Manny, I need to hear your explanation. So you're shaking your head no.
I'm
So
probably actually gonna disagree. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm probably actually gonna disagree with Manny, but I know why Manny's shaking his head. But
we
I'm gonna say something different than what he's
Well,
probably.
you got to ask Mike this question because I didn't like Kellen Moore.
Okay.
Mike
No,
did.
I don't like him either. I don't like him either. I don't like Kellen. I don't like Caleb. I don't like Kellen Moore either. But what I will say is Kellen Moore's offense is quarterback friendly. So if he was playing under somebody like Kellen Moore, I do think his numbers would be much better than playing under the guy he's playing under right now.
that's
So
kind
that's
of
all I'm gonna say. I'll let Manny take it from there and let him go off on Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore's offense is very predictable. He passes the ball probably 85% of the time. And if it was really reliable on quarterbacks and friendly quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts would be succeeding right now, and he looks like the worst quarterback in the league. So there's my counter.
Mm-mm. I take your counter, but I'm gonna it's poker. We used to play poker. Like I see your bid, but I'm gonna up you or whatever. However they say it in poker, right?
Yeah.
I'm
race.
throwing in 20 more. But check it. I understand what you're saying, but if what I'm saying is I think Caleb Moore is. I mean, I think Caleb Williams is a decent quarterback. I think he's decent, right? So I think Kellen Moore's offense was decent with Dak, right? I might not think that Jalen Hurts is decent. Maybe I don't. I don't think he's really a great thrower of the ball. So I think with Caleb Williams, I think he would do okay in a Kellen Moore kind of system. But because of the fact that you said they throw the ball so much in fantasy, that's what I want. I want a quarterback who's getting a lot of pass attempts and a lot of yardage and hopefully a lot of touchdowns. So that's why I would think that he would do well in a system like that.
I see your point, and I'm going to counter re-raise it.
Re-raise it.
Yeah, re-raise it. I agree with you. I agree with you, just like you agreed with me, and I agreed with you back. But I re-agree with you. I just think the offensive line with Kellen Moore is not going to give Caleb Williams a shot when the defense knows that they're passing 85% of the time. Caleb Williams isn't going to have the time in the pocket to throw the ball like Kellen Moore wants him to.
So what you're saying is that you don't trust Chicago's line.
Correct.
Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. You trust Philadelphia's line more?
A little more.
A
I
little
don't think
more.
Jalen Hurts. I'm not. I
Who's
said
been
Jalen
sacked
Hurts.
more this year?
Huh?
Which quarterback has been sacked more this year?
I don't like Jalen Hurts.
I'm just saying.
I want to know who's been hit more just because of sacked. Caleb's able to get out of it.
That's a valid question. I don't know who's been hit more, but I do think I know who's been sacked more. And I think that Chicago's line, I think you're undervaluing their line in a different system. I mean, I don't think Kellen Moore is the offensive line coach. When he was in Dallas, our quarterbacks weren't getting like trampled. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 'cause we had a really good offensive line at the point.
Yep.
So I think that that's different. I don't know if the offensive coordinator's job is to predict the success of the line. I think he's drawing up plays that he hopes will be effective. He hopes the line will block. But I
So
mean,
here's my counter to that counter. Kellen Moore was with the Chargers last year that had Justin Herbert, a guy that is known for his accuracy and able to throw.
Mhm.
How did that work out?
It didn't work out well because the Chargers weren't a good team. The Chargers weren't a good team. I mean, just because he goes, I'm not saying we can. You're countering all of these counters, but in the
countering
beginning,
each other.
in my starting bid, what I started with, I said that Kellen Moore wasn't a great coach. I don't love the guy. I'm just saying that I think that Caleb Williams will be better in that system than the one he's
No.
currently in. We
I-
can talk about all the failures of time out. We can talk about all the failures of Kellen Moore from this stop to this stop to this stop to this stop. But who's the offensive coordinator in Chicago? What's their
Bill?
track record? What's their track record?
Horrible.
Is it better than Kellen Moore's? Has that person had head job interviews and had 3 different opportunities to coach? I would like to know who's the offensive coordinator in Chicago.
Come on, Will. That's your team.
First of all, they are not.
Now, I feel like you should know, Manny, because you're really going hard against this. Like, his situation is better with this guy that we don't even know over Kellen Moore. So I just want to know who this guy is.
And I just googled it right now. It's Shane Waldron, who was the previous offensive coordinator for the Seahawks past 3 seasons.
Okay. Has he had any head coach interviews? No, I want to know if Kellen Moore has. He's been. I mean, I don't know.
And before then, he worked with both the Rams and the Commanders for the past 5 years.
Okay.
Was he on that Rams team that won the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna say no to that. Actually,
That you had. Well, he thought he had.
it was after. It was after.
Put your chips away. Put that 20 back. You ain't re-raising.
All right, I fold.
No. You're good. You're good. But I think we kind of got a little off topic. Like what I'm saying, and maybe you knew that. Maybe you're trolling me. I don't know. But what I'm saying is I think Kellen Moore is better than whoever his current coach is. I'm not saying Kellen Moore is top 10, top 5, top 15, top 20 even, but I think he's better than Shane Waldron. And I think that Caleb Williams would do better in a situation like that that's pass happy than, at least fantasy-wise. He might throw 25 interceptions, but if he throws 30 touchdowns, unless you're in a league that penalizes for interceptions, my league doesn't, I don't think.
James Winston, like a couple years ago.
Like a couple years ago. He was great
Everyone
for a lot of
Winston back then.
He was awesome, right? So I'm just saying, if Caleb Williams was in a system like that, it might benefit him. That's all I'm saying. Manny's acting like I love Kellen Moore. I don't love Kellen Moore.
So I'm going to say, and when I talk about people I love and don't like, it's literally in the fantasy realm. So which is why I'm a huge fan of Kellen Moore. And my only response to that is generally get AJ Brown and Devontae Smith back in there for at least 5 games, and then we'll talk about if Hurts can be a little bit more relevant now versus Manny saying that he sucks right now. So that being said, we'll go ahead and go on to a different subject. I riled y'all up. Okay. So let's go ahead.
You didn't rile me up. I was just doing a game with Mike. He figured it out.
It was fantastic. And I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good content.
So
by the way, Shane Waldron has 2 Super Bowls.
Good he?
He really good with that. Okay.
He might do that with those
Rams. Was one of those with those Rams?
I'm looking it up right now.
Because it was back to back Kansas City. So last year was Kansas City, the year before was Kansas City, and the year before that, who was it?
It was he won it with the Patriots.
He was probably like a technical technical supervisor of making sure the balls are inflated to the right,
I think it was that it was that Super Bowl when they beat Cam Newton.
What was his job though? He wasn't really running nothing.
Let me see. Hold on.
He's probably like a control. What they call his dudes? Operation control.
Oh no, this wasn't Cam Newton. 2004. He was. I don't even know what he was. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to know.
I don't think he was barely even born.
What?
These old coordinators are young
45.
Now. Like I said what I said. He was in college just like us.
He wasn't calling no shots.
What's up?
So he
I
wasn't
don't know.
calling no shots. He wasn't calling no shots. He knew somebody who knew somebody. Like Kendrick said, you signed to somebody, you signed to somebody,
So there you go.
signed to that person.
Best explanation I heard. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next person. Mike should have fun with this one. I'm gonna go to him first about this one. He probably knows who I'm talking about. Is this for real, or are they for real about this situation of Mr. Kyle Pitts? So for the past 2 seasons, we kept on saying we're going to give him a shot. We're going to give him a shot. And we also said this is his last shot. This is his last shot that I'm giving him a chance with. This season was the season where we expected so much out of him, mainly because of the fact that we now have Kirk Cousins as the quarterback for Atlanta. We know how Kirk Cousins roll. We know how consistent he can be. We know the 50+ pass attempts per game that he can generally do. We know that he's Mr. Comeback. But right now, and we kind of talked about it last week on the best episode we ever had that no one saw because, boomer problems. But we kind of talked about with Kirk Cousins that he's not throwing it to the weapons that we expected him to throw it to. He's not necessarily throwing it enough to, or relevant wise, he's not really throwing it to Drake London. He's not throwing it to Kyle Pitts as we expected. Instead, he's been focused more on, of all people, Darnell Mooney and Ray McCloud, with a tad bit of a sprinkle of Bijan Robinson. So with Kyle Pitts, and maybe we could talk about it with Drake London too, is this for real? Is this what we should expect moving forward with these two players, but mainly with Kyle Pitts? Mike?
Yeah, man. I don't know about you guys, but I'm done. I'm done with Kyle Pitts. I don't own him in any leagues, so I was already done. But I'm done. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of waiting for the potential. What is it, year 5 now? It's year 4, year 5 now.
It feels like it, yeah.
So it's at this point, man, I feel like something should have been shown, and I've seen glimpses, but it just isn't enough. And when they got Arthur Smith, I kind of had a feeling this might happen because I'm really big on who's coaching these guys, and Arthur Smith is the same dude who was in Atlanta and refused to give Bijan the ball last year. I don't know, I feel like he tries to out trick the defenses by not going to his weapons. He goes to if you want to own a player in Atlanta, go get Ray McCloud. He'll probably end up with more yards than Drake London because Arthur Smith just does weird stuff. I wanted to curse, almost cursed. He does weird stuff. So it's I don't understand what's going on there, but I know that I'm all out on Kyle Pitts. I will probably never draft him again. I mean, the tight end position is crazy anyway. Like we said a couple weeks ago or last week, it's pretty much a black hole. You're good luck, whoever you're starting for that week. Even if you're a Kelsey or Andrews owner, it's been trash. So I mean, you're really just rolling the dice at this point. So if you have Kyle Pitts, play him. Who cares? Who knows? I mean, it's not like he's doing any worse than most people anyway, right? You probably drafted him to play him, but I will not be somebody who ever believes he'll be an upper echelon player. I think he was the number 4th overall pick in the draft or something like that. He's not that kind of guy. He's not that dude. So I'm done with Kyle Pitts. But you guys, I would love to hear reasons why I shouldn't be.
Manny,
do you want me to be his counter, or because I agree?
I want your opinion. If it's a counter, then go ahead.
I mean, we could debate on me and Mike debate, and I could come up with something. But I agree, Kyle Pitts I never drafted him. I never wanted him. I don't know. Kirk Cousins is a quarterback that likes to give it to everyone. And if you listen to our, blooper episode, I was praising Darnell Mooney and telling everyone to go pick up Darnell Mooney last week. So hopefully no one heard that. because Will didn't press record. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Kirk Cousins loves to spread the ball around. I think the offensive coordinator actually came up and said, there's no explanation on why Kyle Pitts isn't getting the ball. It's all about coverages that the defense is giving them. And how I see that is you're not good enough only on specific coverages to get the ball. You're not getting open is what I'm thinking.
Right.
So that scares me. The offensive coordinator says, yes, we like to give him the ball. He's the unicorn is what they called him, but we're not going to basically force it to him. So I'm off him. I know tight end is like very slim picking, but there's other people you can grab besides Kyle Pitts that actually has proven it. Go trade for Travis Kelce right now. He's been horrible.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna try to cut the show quick as quickly as we can because people got stuff to do. I had two more, but I'm only going to do one more. And Manny just talked about him. So from one tight end that actually has a touchdown to one that just seems non-existent, Mr. Mark Andrews. So
cut.
We are in a
cut him.
We are in a bit of a bind here.
No, we're not. Cut him.
He gone.
The man only had 2 targets in the past 2 games.
Told you.
Two targets total. And then even before it, okay, go ahead.
My bad. I was gonna say I have more palm trees on my shirt than that.
He has way
You gotta
more.
let him go. Take it from there, Will. Slow.
And I think it's time to finally just say, all right, it's time to cut him. And I hate to say that because we know what he can do, but like with the way that these games have been playing these past couple weeks for him, like it just doesn't seem like that Mark Andrews is really. The reality is it kind of doesn't seem like that he's at 100% as far as where he was before coming back from his injury. So biggest bottom line is it might just be finally that time to go. I have seen a couple of people drop Mark Andrews, and I'm still kind of in shock and awe, but probably because of namesake. But I think these two pretty much agree, and I don't think there was much of an argument that it's time for this, like how he is right now. It's for real, and it's to the point where he may continue just to sink. As far as him being a player, did you have another quick there, Manny? Go ahead.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I know I was joking with Will because he was a Mark Andrews guy. In the beginning of season, he's always been, and Mark Andrews has been really good for him. But Mark Andrews turned into that blocking tight end. I don't know what just happened after he came back from injury, but that's what he is. We talked about this on the episode that didn't drop. Fleece. There, he has name value. Go trade him in a package deal, put him on someone else's roster, and then maybe you play Mark Andrews and get that goose egg. What?
Now, I'm not mad at the idea, but like, who could you possibly get for him?
You'd be surprised.
Give me a player, just one player that you feel would be just about worthy as far as a trade for him.
I can't really say because I would package him in with another player that's been doing really well for someone.
So not even at least like a base, like a start.
So let's say you need a wide receiver or you want to get a tight end or a running back. I'm thinking of a player like J.K. Dobbins mixed in with Mark Andrews and go get you a Travis Kelce. Like I said, the name value, some people in the leagues will do it. So why not test your waters, putting them out there before cutting them?
I would be more attracted to the second person if that's the case. If someone is trying to give away Mark Andrews, and then from there you give them whomever your tight end is, if it's to the point where I don't have like who I feel is a decent second running back or a second or third wide receiver, then I would be more interested in who else you add in with Mark Andrews, and then from there have the hope of 2 things. One, have someone on the waiver wire, which we'll be talking about in a moment, that is decent enough that you feel that could take the place of how Mark Andrews is, which you probably can. Right off the bat, I'm still thinking Colby Parkinson. I know. We'll get there. And two, like I said, the person that you fleece them with, like they have to be someone who could still have, like, they're like a player that's not going to always have the greatest days, but know that they have at least the upside to do it, have that as a realm. So a J.K. Dobbins actually is not a bad idea. I remember on the show that was the greatest that I never recorded last week, I talked about Rashee Rice as far as being a trade. This week now, can't talk about him right now. But someone in that realm would have been an acceptable trade. And I also talked about Jalen Waddle with someone a little bit lower, as far as a 2-for-1 as well.
Tony Pollard is another name that comes to my head. That's
not a bad idea. I kind of like that. If you need the running back too, then Tony Pollard's not a bad idea.
Yep.
We'll do this as a quick are they for real, and just do a quick yes or no. Minnesota Vikings in general, they're currently 4-0, one of the few, if not the only, undefeated team remaining. And just the Sam Darnold effect, which is just insane. Even getting talked about for MVP talks. But quick yes or no, Minnesota Vikings, are they for real? Manny?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm not the biggest fan of their defense, but yes. I say they're for real. Okay,
but I'll preface that with saying they're Minnesota. They're Minnesota for real. Like, they'll go to the playoffs and probably lose in the first round, but they're for real for the regular season. I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl or anything like that. And so if that's what you mean by for real, then no. But are they for real as far as being a dominant team? Are they for real as being a dominant team, a number 1 or maybe even 2 seed? Sure.
I'll say yes.
Yeah. So, and they're also, Mike, they're getting one of their best offensive threats back off the pup this week. It's TJ Hawkinson. So if you need a tight end, no one's talking about him, go pick him up and put him on your IR. He might be coming off very shortly.
That's going to be it for the live stream, and that's going to be it for the show. Once again, how everything is going to work. Every Tuesday night, we're going to be on here on Instagram Live. The podcast is going to be up on the next morning. So Wednesday mornings, you'll hear that on Spotify or Apple. And Thursday, a heavily edited version of this, because you're not going to hear us talk about the free agents, because it will be dead and gone by then, by the time I post it on Thursday. So for the Next Up Fantasy Show, for Mike T, what up?
Hey. Once again, I represent those Alessandro Hawks.
Hey.
But you already know. But no, yeah, it was a good show. I always enjoy coming on with my guys and doing what we do. So for this week, I've decided that at the end of every podcast that we do, or not podcast, but YouTube, whatever, StreamYard, whatever it is. I'm not the one who sets this up. Will is. I just show up and I talk about football, okay? But whatever form or media that you're hearing me on, I've decided that at the end of our shows for the rest of the fantasy season, I'm going to talk to the person I'm playing next. So RJ, it's me and you this weekend. You know what I'm saying? You're one of my boys. I love you dearly, but it's got to go down, and I have to embarrass you. I feel like after this week is over, you're gonna wonder why you want to play fantasy football. You're gonna really have a moment where you're gonna decide if this is something that you want to continue to do, because it's gonna be that kind of a beatdown. So RJ, just know I love you in advance, but there's no love this weekend. Good luck.
Next week, I need you to do a Shawn Michaels promo.
I got you.
I've
been waiting for that my whole life.
For Manny B and Manny,
It's crazy that Mike's talking so much crap about RJ. That's the battle of the toilet bowls. We ain't worried about that down where we are, Will.
This guy.
In other news, talk about if I'm talking to you guys of the toilet bowl, I'm playing like Porter John. I'm playing Blue Star. Let's say, do you know who that is off the top of your head?
That's
Dre, Mr. Michigan,
Andre
Mr.
Wildman.
Last place in our league, Mr. Sorry, you stink. And you don't even have a quarterback because Justin Herbert is on bye. Kelvin Ridley is on bye. So let's see. You have Christian McCaffrey hurt. Oh, no. Oh, no. So you don't even have a backup quarterback. I'm sorry, Dre. It's game over. It's GG's already. I'm sorry. Stay in the slumber.
Those not familiar with us, yeah, we're talking mess about our personal home league that we're in. So I guess this is what the last bit is anymore. We're not like forget advice. We're gonna just be smack talking to our next opponent, and the person that I got next up is a person who was at first a threat, but now I look at him right now and I'm just like, you know what? No, I don't see you that way anymore, my boy. He may be second place right now, but the goal is to smash you right now. So, Mr. Otis, Mr. Bushstock, Mr. Frisco 40, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't have an expectation from you. I don't even know who you are anymore. I look at you. I look at your team. I see mediocrity. I see how in the hell did this man become 3-1? In this coming Sunday, you're going to see why your boy is 4-0. You're going to see why I'm at the top of the food chain right now. And I'm still questioning why is Zach Moss your starter? Zach Moss is not a starter. He's an afterthought. I could talk about this more, but I'll leave it for my boys on Sunday to actually handle you. So that being said, do you want to get into?
Wait, before we go, before we go, we have to
people
talk.
in the comments. I need people in the comments on this because y'all just got disrespected as a record label, a crew, and all that. So I need y'all in the comments, and I need to know some rebuttals, knowing that it's all love, but still in the comments.
This will get the rebuttal, Mike. Here's our rebuttal right here. This is gonna start some controversy, Mister. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5-time champ is sitting in 9th place. 9th place in the league. I thought he was good at this. You know what? You're as good as Josh Allen performed against the Ravens.
Yeah, he had to emphasize the Ravens because
a lot of fakes.
Josh Allen is only good when he's playing horrible defenses. Yes, you heard me, Mike Lou.
It's a lot of fingers. Only had one left. I love you, Mike Lou, but I mean, my goodness, it's a lot of. It's a lot of phalanges.
You beat me, but I can't hear you all the way down at the bottom.
He did beat you, though. He did beat you.
He did, but he's lower than you. You're ahead of him. So
I'm right under you.
If you and RJ are the toilet bowl, what is he?
I'm right under you.
You're not right under me.
Yes, I am.
There's a couple teams. There's a team.
Well, you're 2-2. We have the same record.
No.
He's a points guy. I'm a points guy. I have more points than you. We're 2-2. We're 2-2.
Points matter. That's why points matter.
We're 2-2. You scored more points than me this week, so they did matter. But we're 2-2.
Yeah.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
680 points in the league. Guess who's second? Mr. Will at 635.
What's your record though?
I had a tough schedule.
You're 2-2. You're 2-2.
I told you I played the first place schedule.
You're 2-2. You're 2-2. And if I'm 7, if I'm 10-6, and you're 9-5, and you have 1 million points, it won't matter. I'm going in above you.
Then we'll play in the playoffs, and then you know what happened again. And your starting wide receivers will put up. By the way, no one knows this. I had Rashee Rice in, and he got a big old 3 points because Patrick Mahomes tried to take him out again. Mike made the call. Mike was like, Pat, take out your player. But Mike was a bad owner and didn't play Kenneth Walker, so I won.
No, Mike was a bad owner, so let me re-raise you and say once again that if I would have started Jordan Addison and Kenneth Walker, who I drafted, so I'm not a bad owner. I drafted them. Those are my guys. If I'd have started them, you'd have gotten destroyed. So I'm
But
not
you did
worried.
it.
I'm
But you
just
did it.
managing that. It's week 4. It's week
But you
4.
did it.
Week 4. It's my league. I want to make sure you have fun. I want you to keep giving me money every year. I don't want to make it too easy. Come on.
This Mike was like, beginning of the season, he's like, I'm going to dominate this league. I'm tired of you guys talking crap. You're the first year joining. I was at the bottom of the
I am gonna.
bracket. Now look at you. Now look
I
at you.
feel. I have the same records you do. Look at you. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
And I'm just saying, Otis, you also got Kyle Pitts. Think about that. So that's going to be the end of the show. So you guys have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Have a good morning. Whatever you guys are listening, whatever you guys are watching this, it's all love here. See you guys next week. And we'll see who's laughing. We'll see who's smiling. We'll see who's not. So
Not Dre. Dre's going to be crying.
Man, you hear this, Dre? Manny's saying we're going to forget about Dre. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Talk to you guys later. Until next week, deuces.
We are NFL.